Well, congratulations on another signee today. Why don't we go ahead and you can talk about the latest news, and then we'll open up for a few questions here.
Yeah, it's great day in Illini basketball. Obviously, Ty joining our family is something that we're excited about. He's been a priority for us for some time, and a young guy that we feel fits everything that we're about, from our culture to the style of play. Terrific family. Comes from a winning pedigree, which is important. And I will say this: I think that's one of the things about all three in this class that excites me. You guys know, in trying to build a culture and now sustain a culture. The winning piece is extremely important, and all three of these young guys won state championships. All three have had very successful stints on the summer. Obviously, Sincere was out and hurt, but all three of these young guys bring that winning culture and are bringing that to Champaign and to the University of Illinois. So we're excited about that. Ty is one of the most versatile players in this class. I think he can be the best two-way player in this class. It was amazing as we, talked to young people in the recruiting process. The one guy that they always thought was the hardest to score against was Ty Rodgers. Ty has tremendous versatility, can really play any position on the court. And I mean that. I love the thing I was drawn to was his ball handling and his passing. His AAU program, the Mean Streets program, really had tremendous success, and a lot of it was keyed and spurred by his unselfish and his tenacity and his toughness. But a young guy that great skill set, great passer, and defensively he's just a dog. He's a pit bull when it comes to taking pride in that end. And I've told him all through this recruiting process, he's the guy that I know impacts at an extremely high level. And I feel great about that coming to our program. So we're excited. He's obviously moved from the state of Michigan, and we'll be going to high school in Chicago, playing for Ty Streets. A guy who gets his guys to play extremely hard. That is a great marriage as well. And obviously a guy that becomes, probably the front runner for Mr. Basketball in the state after everything that he's accomplished in Michigan up to this point. So we're ecstatic. It's a great day. A guy that adds to, and I think is a great compliment. They're all three of those young men are very different. And we're excited to add that group, and feel great about the orange and blue as we move forward in the future.
All right, we'll go ahead for questions. We'll open up with Doug, and then Jeremy, you're on deck. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Coach. It appears with these three kids that previously established relationships had a big part in this. With Chester with the two guards, and now Tim with Ty. Can you talk to that a little bit and the performance of the staff in putting together this class?
Yeah, this staff's been tremendous, and it is so much about relationship and building bonds and building trust in that process. And in a lot of these cases, I'm the last piece to get to come in and get involved. And seeing these young men, knowing how they fit. I have to make those decisions, and obviously Chester was sincere, and Jaden had gone down the path, and they felt very comfortable, and then it was just a matter of making sure it was the right fit for Illinois, and and very much the same with Ty. He and Tim have a great relationship, and he's a guy that I loved when I saw him on the circuit, and and to go into the state of Michigan and be able to recruit that speaks volumes to Tim's connection with the family, connection with the young man, and we're in a great place, and this staff has done a yeoman's job in terms of fighting through and putting the pieces together that fit us, and I'm really excited about that.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Jeremy, you're up, and then Alec.
Hey, Brad, just touching on your staff a little bit. You have all this turnover in the offseason, and you still put together one of the better classes in the Big Ten in the country. What do you think that says about your program, where you're at, and the guys you got?
Jeremy, we're still pretty thirsty. Hungry, whatever you want to use. We're not where we want to be, or where I want to be. We're just not. And we haven't reached the peak. We're not at the mountain. We're not at the top. I think that sustainability and building is something that, we can feel great about where we've built and what we've done the last 3 years, but we're not where we need to be. And putting this staff together, the old staff did some great things, and we're tremendous. You start to win. You start to put facilities together. We bring in a group of guys and new coaches, and all of a sudden, it's something that you feel really positive about as you move forward, year 4, year 5, year 6, and knowing that, for lack of a better term, we're sexy again, and we're building it, but we're doing it with guys that we want, that fit us, and that's the biggest challenge with a new staff. Chester, coming from Mike Young's terrific basketball coach, he does it different than I do. And Jaden Epps and Sincere were the perfect fits for what we were doing. And so it's been a great marriage. These guys are terrific. They're terrific coaches, and I feel great about where the orange and blue is at, and where that when we wear that eye on the road recruiting, people are really aware of us on the national scene now.
Just had a quick one. You mentioned the winning, and I know that's been important for you since you got here, but everybody describes each of these guys as tough. How do you find that, Brad? How do you scout that? How do you know a kid is tough?
Yeah, and I mean, it's everybody's definition of tough is so widespread. It may not be my definition of tough, but when you start to see kids that compete to win, and we're in a world, Jeremy, where everybody wants to play in the NBA, and everybody thinks they're an NBA player. They're not. And when you start playing and watching guys and how they play with their teammates and for their teammates, and connect and mesh together, that's why being out on the road is so important for us. It was challenging to do things through Zoom and video and streaming, and you miss a lot of those things, but winning is really, really hard. And we're in a culture today where it's usually me, and how can I get to the NBA? And this group of guys win, and they care about their teammates, and the success that they had in high school, the success, they talk about it. They talk about the success they had on the AAU circuit. All that's huge to us, and it's something we dive into and we want to be a part of.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay, Alec, you're up. Scott Ritchie on deck.
Thanks, Ken. Hey, Brad, I kind of wanted to ask you about kind of constructing this when you kind of think about adding Ty, kid who's 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", really long, pretty athletic, to a Luke Goody, who's kind of in that same mold, and RJ Melendez, who's in that same mold. Coleman Hawkins is in that same mold as well. How much of an emphasis have you put on finding athletes that can do different things and are just really, really long?
Finding different pieces is what we're about, what I'm about. I don't want like pieces. I don't want guys who do the same things. And all of those guys you mentioned are different, and they give you different options. And Ty Rodgers is a guy that's going to be able to play the point. He's got a Draymond Green type skill set and ability and size, and Luke's a guy who can really rip it and shoot it and make shots running away from the basket. And RJ's a bouncy athlete, and we're starting to see Coleman's versatility. So they're all different, and that's where I want to get with this, where we're not putting like pieces together. And Ty's so big and so strong, and a young guy that has got a different frame, a different body than any of those guys.
And then how difficult is it to defend a team that has those different pieces that aren't the same, but are all kind of this perfect size for basketball, right? Like 6'6" to 6'9" seems to be what everyone's looking for on the recruiting trail, or even on the professional level these days.
I hope it's really hard to guard. That's our plan is to recruit guys that their versatility, in Ty's case, he's an elite passer, and makes players better, because of his ability, his size. He challenges people at the rim because of his strength and his athleticism. And so, he's a guy that constantly is going to make players better. And, and when you find a guy like that, you got to have guys like Luke Goody who shoot the basketball at a high rate. You got to get guys like RJ who cut and fill into, lobs and different things like that. So again, it's different pieces, and that gives you versatility. And I love that.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, Scott, and then Joey Wagner on deck.
Hey, Brad, when you are able.
I lost you, Scott.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear?
Can anybody hear me?
Now I could.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess when you land a guy that is also maybe considering one of your Big Ten rivals, and this guy that you obviously like and think can impact this level, how big is that where you're not going to see Ty Rodgers across the court for the next few years?
Yeah, it's pretty darn good feeling knowing that I've got him in my locker room and not going to have to face him. Again, I don't get as wrapped up into who we beat. I know I love that kid, and I sure as a heck don't want him in somebody else's locker room and have to play against him. But it's a great fit for us, and that's the way I look at it. And he's a talented young guy, man. He should have and had all the interest in nationally that he could possibly want. So we feel good he's in our locker room, and I don't have to play against him.
If I've got the timeline right, just he offered in early August, just when maybe the recruitment goes 3-ish months, what do you feel is important just to, maybe establishing, that relationship with everybody? Obviously you knew Tim, but just to get everybody on board in sort of a shorter amount of time. Yeah.
Using all of your contacts and evaluations and phone calls and text messages and just a steady dose of relationship building. And then it was, them seeing what we're about and coming in for a visit and meeting our athletes and seeing a game. And all of that is just it's a part of recruiting today. And, it wasn't just Tim. It was also, getting to know Jeff, getting to know Chester, getting to know Zach, getting to know Tyler, getting to know, Josh Whitman and what we stand for. And it's just an information gathering process. And it was expedited because of my love for him and jumping in and again, and Tim ran point on that and did a great job.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay, Joey Wagner, and this will wrap up the presser today. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Brad, I know in the first signing day press conference we had with you, you talked about how it's maybe a different response on the recruiting trail now versus when you started this year one. And a lot of that's probably got to do with the wins, right? But how much is it just having that visible culture that you talk so much about, that guys kind of understand what your program is about beyond just winning basketball games.
Yeah, Joey, when we got here, we were selling a dream and a vision, and one that hadn't that most of the young guys we were talking to, they had not seen. They hadn't. There was no belief. We were just talking, and now that when we talk about playing fast, we have the numbers to back that up. Now, when we talk about being a team that's in the top 10 in both OER and DER, we can back that up. And when you talk about winning a Big Ten championship, we can back that up, and you can throw out being a 1 seed. All those things become important, and they've seen us on TV. They've seen that culture. They've grown to understand it, and it's putting faces and names together, not just of coaches but of players, and seeing what Iowa's done, what Trent Frazier's done, what Monte's done, what Kofi's done at various positions. So it's our brand is in an unbelievable place, and then you start throwing facilities and sellout crowds and the Orange Crush and everything we sell, that becomes powerful. And and I think it's something that now we're sustaining. We're not going away, and that's people become part of something really special, and they're doing that here at the University of Illinois. It's Fletch, it's our coaches, it's the family atmosphere, it's everything that we collectively believe in, sell, and people are seeing that on the national scene now.
This might be maybe something I know the answer to, but is there anything satisfying about going into a couple other Big Ten states and leaving with over the last 2 classes with the top player in that state?
Yeah, I mean, obviously people, that happens in our state. So, and you don't get everybody you want, but yeah, there, to say you're not playing against guys and you're going in and I think it speaks volumes to going into Big Ten country and in somebody else's house. It's I don't make a huge deal out of it, but I think it's going after the guys that we feel fit us, and then being able to convince them that that's the right, the right choice. It's okay to leave, and now we're providing something that's great for them, and again, it's I'm glad they're all in our locker room and not opposing teams.
Okay, Rob McCauley has one recruiting question, and that will probably wrap things up today. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, Brad, sort of like Joey's question and Richie's question, but Ty Streets played at Michigan, and Michigan, some people see as your top rival now in the Big Ten. So would you talk about the relationship with Ty Streets and how that impacted the recruitment?
Yeah, I mean, Ty's been an extremely successful. I mean, he was a terrific basketball player. People forget about that. His football prowess obviously is well established, but Ty's been in our state and been a very successful coach. He gets his guys to play as hard as anybody in the country, not just in our state. And obviously his involvement with Mean Streets, and he's a guy that has been at we've been involved with, and so on and so forth over the course of my career here. Yeah, I mean, Ty's in a great place, and obviously, we're going to get involved with every coach that touches that young man. So, he felt very comfortable, and it's exciting to see another one of Chicago's great coaches helping the State University.
All right, Coach. I know you got other things to go on to today. Appreciate your time, and congratulations.
In the recruiting trail, boys. I'm sure you can figure out